Okay, so please ignore how dusty and dirty my car is, but this is the loop end of the tether. So basically you're going to slide that underneath the rails, and on this car there's like a slightly easier part to get to, a bit further up, so like behind the bolt there is like stuck to the floor, but a little bit further up there's a gap. So you grab the end with the stitched on loop, you slide that underneath the rail, wiggling it out and pull it through the other side, so that you've got the green clip on one side of the rail and the loop on the other. And then you basically just pop the green clip through the loop like so, and then pull it through and pull all of that extra strap through as well, so it's created a tight loop on the end of the rail there. So see, the tether is now solid onto the car. You can then use the metal buckle to loosen off the tether to make the green clip longer or shorter, depending on how far away the rails are. So if you can't get under the rails with the tethers, you can go through the seat if you've got a gap between where the vehicle backrest and the vehicle bum rest meet. So you basically just slot the loop end again through the seat, and then grab it and bring it around the outside of the seat like so. So again, one side of the chair you've got the loop, and the other side of the seat you've got the green buckle. And then again you just slot the green buckle through the loop, and again pull it through and pull all the excess through, and then pull it nice and tight. Again, you can lengthen it off using the metal buckle. The only thing with this installation is that you then can't use the passenger seat moving back and forward, so it's not ideal if you have different height drivers that need to move the seat back and forwards, because once you get these all nice and tight, the seat will either push back and make the tethers loose, or it won't go any further forward because the tethers are stopping it. If you find that there is a gap but it's really difficult to get it through, what you can do is get a blunt butter knife, pop it through the loop of the tether, and then use the knife to push it through, and then you can use the knife to grab it from the other side and pull it through. So again, on one side of the rail you've got the loop, and on one side of the rail you've got the green clip, and then from there you can just loop it through and pull it nice and tight. So grab your car seat and pop it on so that the leg is angled out towards the front of the car. You don't want to have it tucked underneath and then start to fit it, because then you get annoyed at yourself that you haven't took the leg out. So you're just going to drop the leg down to the floor so that it's just hovering on the floor. Once the seat is in position, open up both of the blue clips, so both open there, and drop the leg down to the floor so that it's just hovering above the floor. Still get my hand underneath there. I'm going to fit it wherever I want it on the seat, so you can have it anywhere on the seat up until the orange sticker hangs over the edge. This is going to adjust the leg room for the child. I don't need much leg room, so I'm actually just going to tuck it quite far in, just sort of like in the middle of the seat. And I've also got it on recline position 2, which is sort of like the middle setting. You can have it on the most upright, which is with the bar tucked all the way in, or the most reclined, which is with the bar 2 clicks out. Okay, so next is the seat belt. It's going to go through the car seat, through these little slots here, and it's going to go under the fabric and out of the hole on the other side. So I'm just going to pop that through. Once that's through the other side of the car seat, you're just going to pull it down and click it into your buckle. And then what you're going to do is pull this top belt, which is the adult shoulder belt, the bit that goes across our body. And you're going to pull this as tight as you can so that it's tightening the lap belt across the bottom there. And what I'm doing is I'm putting some weight in the seat, so my elbows are in the seat, and I'm pushing down and wiggling as I'm pulling that belt nice and tight. And what you want to do is keep a hold of that tension. If you can, with your other hand, pull the tension out here as well and feed it back up into the car. A little trick that I like to do to tighten up the lower belt as far as I can is I grab onto the seat here and I wiggle the seat and pull this belt tight as I'm doing so, and that makes the seat really solid in the car. And then once you've still got all that tension, I'm pushing right down, pulling the belt. Whilst I've still got that tension there, I'm going to lock off on this clip. And on the door side, only the lap belt goes through the clip. This belt doesn't. It feeds straight back up into the car. On this side of the seat belt should be nice and tight now, and you can lock off on both pieces of the belt. At this point, the car seat should be quite solid in the vehicle already, but obviously we've still got to do the tethers and the leg. So again, the leg is now lifted up slightly because I've obviously pushed all of the slack out of the seat belt. So I'm just going to drop it down one more click so that it's just hovering above the floor, and then I'm going to attach my tethers on. So I'm just going to check. So at the moment they're not going to reach because they're a little bit too short, so you just pull on the metal clip so that they're going to hit the back and then clip them on. Okay, then with the loose part of the strap, so the extra long bit here, you're just going to pull it down as tight as you can on both of those until the leg meets with the floor. And now the last little thing that I'm going to do is put some weight in the seat and push the seat back towards the floor, towards the front of the car, to get the tethers nice and tight. So I'm going to keep a hold of the tethers. I'm going to push on the seat, and as I'm doing so, pulling the tether straps down. What this is doing is tightening up the leg, so you can see here when I push the seat down, the little green bit pops out, and that's what you want to be out. Once it's all nice and tight, that should stay out green. There we go, so we've got a green marker saying that the leg is nice and secure, it's fully touching the floor there, and the tethers are nice and tight. Once you've got the tethers nice and tight and secure, the leg's on the floor and it's all green, you can check the seat to see if it's installed correctly by giving it a little wiggle down by where the child's feet would go. Never check for movement up the top of the seat. There will always be a little bit more wiggle room up here, but also that is where all of the energy absorbing material is in the seat. If you wiggle it too hard, it can break and crack, so don't test movement up there. Always just test somewhere down by the base. So you can wiggle it down here, wiggle it here, anywhere you want, and it is nice and solid in the car. It should move less than an inch, and actually the full car is shaking, so definitely nice and tight. Last little thing you can do, just for cosmetic purposes really, is when you get the tethers, you get elastic bands tying them all up. You can just roll up this extra length of tether and secure it with the elastic band so that it sits nice and neatly up the top here, rather than having all this loose tether strap hanging down in the footwell. Last thing to do on the seat is twist out the side impact cushion, and that fills the gap between the car seat and the door. If you were to get hit side on, that would absorb the impact before it gets to the seat, before it gets to your child. Now the seat is fitted nice and secure. All that's left to do is adjust the headrest and harness to your child's height. So to do that, it's just in the back here with this lever. So what you want to do is fully loosen off the harness, pressing the little release button in there, pulling the straps nice and loose. Go around the back of the seat, and you're going to pull out on the lever towards you and lift it up and down depending on where you need it for the child. Make sure that it fully locks back into place. As you're moving that lever, you can see the headrest lifting up and down, as well as the harness. And you want the harness to be coming out of the seat directly level with the child's shoulders. So the shoulders should be sitting exactly where I'm pointing here. And the headrest should be, the head should be situated nice and central in the headrest. You can then buckle the child in just like usual. Pull up on the straps first to get rid of all the slack from around these waist straps. And then pull on the harness, tighten strap, and that tightens it all up for them. And that is how it should look once it's in. To remove the seat from the car, what you're going to do is you're going to loosen off the tension, so at the minute it's all still nice and snug. What you're going to do is release the blue clips first, unbuckle your seat belt so that the seat is then loose in the car. And that makes it much easier to unbuckle the tethers, and then the seat is ready to be taken out of the car.